Fork stabs.
No!
Fork stabs.
No!
Fork stabs. Fork stabs.
No!
And I've only just noticed these on the side.
No!
Fork stabs. Fork stabs.
No!
And on the back, fork stabs. Fork stabs. And what are these?
No! God! No! God, please, no!
Au revoir. This is just a quick follow-up to the original Frankie review I did. Now I've had time to get to know it a little bit. This is mainly about the aesthetics of the guitar, not how it plays or sounds. Everything I said in the original video I stand by. It's a great guitar. It sounds great, looks fantastic, plays so well. The bends are just, whoa. It's the compound radius neck. It suits me, I love it. So onto the aesthetics, which most of what I'm about to say could be changed to make it look more like the original without it costing any more money. In fact, it would maybe cost less money to make it look a bit more like the original. Looking at it in detail, which I have done since I've got this guitar, just out of curiosity really. I'm not that bothered. It's, you know, I look at this guitar, even having studied the original a lot more than I did in the past, I still look at this and just think, wow, that's Eddie's guitar, which is what we want, isn't it? But if you look at the little details, there are a few little things that could have been different to make it just that bit more like the original at no extra cost. First off, the fork stabs.
No!
They're sort of everywhere on this and on a lot of pictures I've seen of the Frankies. Why? They're not on the original. In fact, the only place I can see any kind of something like this would be about there on the original. A few dents there which aren't on this. They're sort of randomly placed on the back and the front everywhere else though. Now it takes time to put these little dents in. They're there, here, they're on the back in several places. Now if they'd just not done that, then it would have looked more like the original. I'd have much preferred that they would have put the holes for the screws for the original pickup cover instead, which would have taken less time. I've started to do a few myself, and you can see like that one. Just because of looking at the original and thinking, well, they should be there. So it would have taken less time to put in those little holes for the screws than to put all these fork stabs in randomly that aren't on the original. So that's a little boggy thing for me. Next, the neck. When mine arrived, they'd put so much dirt on the fretboard, it might have been graphite or something, that it looked like a rosewood fretboard. It was that dark. And in my low lighting, or moody lighting as some people call it, at certain angles I couldn't see the fret dots, and I need them, or I play in the wrong key, and I've been playing a long time, but I need me dots. So I cleaned it up. There's a video on that if you want to see how I did it. There's other ways of doing it, which I've been given some advice by some people in the comments, which I might try at a later date to get a bit more off. But I've took about what I think is about 30% of the gunk off it, and I can see the dots now. So that's the main thing for me. But again, if they hadn't spent so much time putting all this stuff on the fretboard, it would have looked more like the original. Can you see where I'm going with this? If you look at a video that Cameron Cooper did, he reviewed this Frankie. That video came out about 3 days before I got mine. If you look at the neck on his, there's a lot less weathering on, and it looks about right. There's a bit, and it looks more like the original, because the original doesn't look as dark as that. Look at the back. It's crazy. I'm not going to touch the back though. The neck feels so nice, I'm just not going to mess with it. So there's that. Onto the back. Here, well, you can see that, yeah. We've got fresh wood. So it's a bit strange when you've got all this relicking and then you've got this bright fresh wood there. Now on some of the Frankies, it's sprayed red like the original. Mine hasn't got that, and if you look at the photographs on the EVH site for the Frankie, it's weathered. There's no paint, but it's weathered. Mine's just fresh wood. It stands out a bit. And they've even gone to the trouble, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see where they've masked it off. So the paint ends where they've masked it. So they've gone to the trouble of masking it off, which took time, when they could have just carried on spraying it and it would look more like the original. Yeah, confusing. See, if you look here, you've got the paint's taken off. You've got this nice weather in here, this dark wood, and you've got bright new wood. So that's a little bit strange. Some odd decisions went on the day this was made. Yeah, the pickup cavities on the original, here it was natural wood, and on this one it was red. You can't see any wood here because of the pickup on both the original and this one. But instead of having that natural and that red, they've just sprayed it all black. On the EVH site, you can see they've sprayed that red, and this is just natural wood, looked a bit weathered, which is more like the original. So they've used more paint, a different colour, but they've used more paint. They could have just sprayed that bit red and done, like the original. So everything I've mentioned so far could have looked more like the original without any extra expense. The quarter. Now I've just blue tacked a quarter on there for now. Initially I thought, well, why didn't they put the quarter on? I've happily paid another 25 cents for the quarter and a bit for the time to put it on. But thinking about it, they are getting quite rare, I think. I tried looking for one on the UK websites for coin dealers and I couldn't find a 71 quarter. I did find one on ebay.com, but they wanted $20 to ship it. Now I've shipped a jacket to New Zealand for less than that, and that's all the way around the other side of the planet where they're upside down and stuff. So I thought, no, I'm not going to spend that much on a quarter. So I dug out my bag of coins and found one. It's a 66, that'll do for now. But maybe what happened was because they're easily accessible now, perhaps. Maybe they thought that if they can't source enough for the run, then they shouldn't put them on any of them, which is, you know, a good decision. Imagine if they'd produced 3,000 but only 2,000 had 71 quarters on, and you got one without a quarter. That would have been not good. And the last thing is the scratch plate. On the original, it was more of an angle. It came up a little bit further, and then it was cut at an angle down like that a little bit, whereas this is just straight. Just a little detail, not bothered. Now what's underneath the scratch plate, on the original, from what I can tell, it looks like bare wood or maybe even cork. But if you can see on this one, what we do have is what looks like baking foil. When I first got it, I thought, what's that? And I put my finger on it and I dented it. So you could probably break that and put your finger through it. So, a bit of a strange decision. Not sure what the original is, but it looks like wood or cork. And that's about it. Oh, the painting on the horn is different to the original. They've got the stripes and everything so close to the original, and yet they've done this quite differently. Some of this detailing here is exact, and yet this is quite different. There's more black lines than on this. So yeah, there's just some odd things about it, but generally it's great. We've become good friends, but I just wanted to point out some little differences between this and the original. I mean, I know it's not going to be an exact replica of Eddie's original. You're not going to expect that for this sort of price point. That's what you may have got with those that cost 20 grand. You know, that had the reflectors on, they sourced the real reflectors. Those are going to be like impossible to find in bulk. So it's understandable why they didn't put the reflectors on the back. But the point I'm making really is that they could have been more accurate and it would have cost less time and money. Just a bit of a niggle. But it's a great guitar. We have become very good friends. So don't forget, though, having great gear doesn't make you a better player. It can enable you to play at your best, which is what this does for me anyway. That's it for now. See you on the next one. Bonjour for now.